Liz Corbyn. Now, normally I speak just after Haiku, but I'm not going to this time. Angela's going to speak about the Ukraine, and then I will speak about the movement and the campaign. So I would just say, in introducing that we're going to have something about Ukraine, that it is an issue which the movement must get to grips with. There are a lot of things going on there. People prefer to ignore them. We've got to understand it. And Angela has done a huge amount of work, which I think you'll find very interesting. So, Angela, please.
Yay. All right, lovely to see you guys. I'm not a very confident speaker, so I scripted it. So I scripted it because I've never been a public speaker, but I'll just shout it out because this has been bothering me so much, and some things that you get so passionate about, you have to just step out of your comfort zone and just get on with it. So here we go.
Thank you for getting up and speaking. Great.
As a child, it fascinated me to watch my parents appear to fall into a trance-like state while watching the BBC News on telly.
Louder.
I couldn't break it then, and I still can't. They are both triple jabbed and believe Putin is in a reincarnation of Hitler. They've been successfully programmed by the television. At the age of 7, my understanding of history was that there had been 2 World Wars before I was born. So I was grateful to be living in a time when nobody was killing each other. So it came as a bit of a shock when whilst watching the news as part of the family routine. Muslim families have prayer times. We had the news 3 times a day. I witnessed young boys in Palestine fighting off an intimidating gang of armed Israeli soldiers. I questioned what was going on, and the answers I got ended my age of naive innocence. There was a war between Palestine and Israel. In fact, war had never gone away, just changed location or morphed into a different kind of war with different kinds of weapons. For the majority of the population that kneel to the preachings of the fake stream media, there have been 2 wars. One is the war against this invisible enemy called COVID, which I'm sure stands for Certificate of Vaccination Rating. And the other one is against Russia. And both wars have been presented with the same colour of yellow and blue. NATO has been responsible for most of the wars and coups started around the war in my lifetime. The promise of democracy always justifies the West dropping bombs when actually they are really systematically destabilising nation states. The foundation stone of a democracy, as far as I understood, is freedom of speech, whilst that of fascism is the control of information. But what we have witnessed over the last 2 years is a globally coordinated dismantling of freedom of speech, pioneered by the West, through cancel culture and the character assassinations of anyone who questions the fake stream narrative. The online harms bill will likely be the final nail in the coffin for freedom of speech in the UK.
Yes, absolutely.
Hate speech, it seems, is only permitted if it's targeted at Putin or anything Russian. Max Igan has long said, if we don't heal Palestine, Palestine will become the way of the world. Sadly, Gaza and West Bank have been open-air prisons guarded by Israeli soldiers all of my life. 2 to 3 weeks before the war in Ukraine broke out, Zelensky, the ex-comedian, now Prime Minister of Ukraine, spoke at the Dia Summit. In this summit, he boasted to others and various World Economic Forum players that attended of his creation of a state in a smartphone. According to Zelensky, 40 million of his double-jabbed citizens can now enjoy the privilege of accessing goods and services through their digital ID app. That is, if they haven't already been killed by the jab or their own government. The digitised open-air prison is coming here soon too, in the form of the Digital Health Pass. And instead of having a prison number, you have a QR code. The smartphone was always the Trojan horse of the New World Order, a weapon that has changed the nature of human interaction and will make you a prisoner if you allow it. In Ukraine, double-jabbed children as young as 6 can get their free smartphones and the app. But Zelensky, who described it as normal, even cool, that many Ukrainians think Stefan Bandera, Hitler's right-hand man, was a hero for defending Ukraine's freedom, is actively involved with a digital version of Can I See Your Papers, Please? Our government has been arming, training and supplying weapons to Azov soldiers in the Donbass region since 2014. The emblem they wear with pride on their uniform is the modified edition of the 2nd SS Das Reich Panzer Division.
Yes. Shame.
Ukrainian human rights activist Elena Risnaya, who has spoken to many parliaments in the West, warning them of the rise of Nazism in her country, has been kidnapped by the SPU Snatch Squad, along with many other politicians, journalists and political scientists. The government and its propaganda machine are now claiming there is a humanitarian crisis in Mariupol, yet another disgusting perversion of the truth. Former Ukrainian Prime Minister Mykola Azarov has said Zelensky is elbow deep in blood because the military utilises civilians as hostages on his command.
Yes, exactly.
This is the sick tactic being used at Azov's military headquarters in Mariupol. It is not a humanitarian crisis created by Russia. It is a hostage situation created by Zelensky. It is not just Zelensky who is elbow deep in blood as far as I'm concerned. It is any government, any tech company, media organisation, particularly the BBC,
Yes.
who empower this
Take down the
Nazi
BBC.
with words and weapons. Twitter and TikTok have facilitated this evil too. The smartphones of Russian prisoners of war have been used to record their torture and execution by Azov soldiers and the footage sent to their contacts, including their parents. Where is the Hague in all of this? Are they infiltrated? Even they put these war criminals, including Gates, Blair, Hancock,
Yes.
Schwab, Bojo,
Arrest Tony Blair.
Zelensky, Fauci, Whitty, etc. on trial, or else the people will have to do it. As John Stuart Mill said, as long as justice and injustice have not terminated their ever-renewing fight for ascendancy in the affairs of mankind, human beings must be willing, when need is, to do battle for the one against the other. Hold on to your humanity and be the light. Please, freedom fighters, unite.
We finished. Fantastic. Brilliant. Oh. Well, Angela, that was brilliant. I mean, despite interruptions and that music, these people are sent here to make trouble. They do, just like... See what I mean? There's nothing to say. Okay.